Woo, stop! Don't you dare plug in that Mesa card. Don't even think about running that PNC Conf Wizard until you've watched this. I'm so tired of seeing it. It's in my emails, it's all over the forums. I see people on YouTube just tearing their hair out. They spend weeks, months, sometimes thousands of dollars building a beautiful CNC machine. Their mechanics are flawless, the gantry is perfectly trammed, the spindle's humming, and everything is right to go. And then bam, they hit a digital brick wall. A wall that has zero to do with machining and everything to do with basic computer networking. The machine just won't connect. Linux CNC is spitting out errors with about a lost connection. You're seeing no carrier messages, your ping requests are timing out, and you're starting to think that that brand new shiny Mesa card that you just bought is a dud. So let me tell you with almost 100% certainty, it's not the card, it's not your CNC, it's your network settings. And this is the exact spot where countless brilliant mechanics and fabricators get stopped dead in their tracks by the one simple, totally avoidable mistake. But I get it. We live in a world of plug and play. You plug in your phone and it charges and works. You tap the Wi-Fi icon and you're on the internet. You expect that same magic from your Mesa card. But here's where you're wrong. We aren't using consumer gadgets here. This is industrial grade hardware. It demands a specific, robust, and totally predictable environment, and we need to choose reliability over convenience every time. This video, this little 6-minute clip I'm re-releasing, is going to save you from the single most common, most frustrating, and most soul-crushing setup error I see. But before you waste another second troubleshooting something that isn't even broken, watch this. It will save you hours, maybe days of pure frustration. So before we move on to the next stage of setting up our 7i76E, I want to spend a little bit of time talking about basic networking because it seems like a lot of people struggle to get this right, mainly because they don't understand the basics of a TCP/IP network, which I'm sure you know drives the whole of the internet. So let's just stop for a minute and we'll have a look at a bit of a drawing. So I'm not sure how we'll go here drawing on a side, but just think about your normal network. You've got the internet out here and you run in through a modem or a router to your home network, and then all your PCs are generally attached to that network, and sometimes you'll have Wi-Fi coming off here as well. So generally, this network is in the 192.168.x.x range, or .0. So what happens here is that your ISP will normally allocate an IP address to this, and that's a real live IP address that's able to be seen anywhere on the internet. So it has to be a live one. So back here is the rest of our network. Now, the internet doesn't care about that. And what they came up with when they invented it, the internet back in the early days, they said, let's allocate some fixed IPs or some IP ranges that will never get routed out here to the internet. And one of them is 192.168, and the other one, or there's another two, there's the 10.0.0.0 network, and there's another one called 172.16.0.0. So none of those, if anything out here on the internet sees any of those IP addresses, it'll just drop the packet. It says, no, it doesn't exist. So one of the things about your network is that it has a gateway, which is your your address on the internet. So if you have your PC out here, this might be 192.168.1.12. So it's that. So that's that interface there. And it knows, when you set your network up, it knows that the gateway is at, say, 192.168.1.1. So that's this IP address here. So it knows to get anywhere other than 192.168.1. So any IP address starting with anything other than 192.168.1, it knows that it's got to ask the gateway to forward it. So normally we're going out to the internet and the gateway or router sends the traffic out here. So in our case, what we want to do is add a 7i76e out here on its own separate network. Now, there's lots of ways you can do this, but the standard recommended way is to configure this to be a 10.10.10.10. And we'll make this one a 10.10.10.1. So this allows the 7i76e to have a dedicated connection between your PC running Linux CNC and itself. Now, something that's interesting about this is that we don't give this network a gateway. So it says, oh, well, all I can see is any computer or any device on the network starting with 10.10.10.x, right, for 3 10s. So traffic on this segment will not go past this because it doesn't know how to go. If you then said we want the gateway to be 1.12, it then would be able to send traffic out here. But we don't want that to happen. We want this to be locked to its own devices. So that's what we're trying to do. So I've just opened up the back of my very much work in progress HMI enclosure, and eventually down here, I've just got one here for now, but that one goes out to the 7i76e and it's patched out, and I've put this label on it, which I think is a good idea, because once you set up the network, you want to know where to plug that one in. So and this one is just going through the hole here, goes out to the main network. So this is the 192.168 IP address we talked about, and this is the 10.10.10.1 IP address that we spoke about later, going out here. Okay, let's set up the network. I'm going to walk you through setting up a static IP address on a typical Debian-based Linux CNC system. The exact clicks might look a little different on your version, but the idea is exactly the same. We might just start by having a look at our network settings, and you can see that we've got 2 network cards here, this one and this Wi-Fi one, and the Wi-Fi one has an IP address already allocated, and the hardwired one hasn't got an IP address yet. So if we click up here on this icon here, and we can get edit connections, and you can also get to the same thing if you go over here and go to settings and run the advanced network configuration. So different systems might look a little bit different, but the concept is the same. So let's just have a look at the Wi-Fi settings, and the main thing here is to go over to IPv4 settings, and it sees that it's got an automatic DHCP IP address. So in other words, it goes out automatically, grabs a network IP address from your router, and configures itself without you having to worry anything about it. But this one here is set up and it just doesn't have this IP address. So first off, we need to look at the Mesa network instructions. And it says here this is 192.168.1.121 is the default IP address with W2 link down and W3 down. So we want to use this one fixed from the EEPROM. We need W2 down and W3 up. So go ahead and change the W3 link and make sure they're like that. So what that'll do now is that will say we're getting it from the EEPROM, and that's set to be 10.10.10.10, 4 tens in a row. So now, back to our network card, we need to add a static IP address, and it's going to be in the 10 range, and you can choose any of over 250 IP addresses, but just to make it easy, I'll make it 1. Some people like to make it 100. The net mask is easy. It's 255.255.255.0. Now, what that says is that it will this will match and look for a network starting at 10.10.1 all the way through to 10.10.10.254. So that's what that is, and we're going to leave this gateway, and we talked about this before, we'll leave the gateway blank. And that's all we got to do. I had an extra line in there, so we've got one line, one IP address, so it's 10. And we're done. So now, if we have a look at IPA again, we can see here now that this IP address should say, and it doesn't say, this needs to be set to manual. So just recapping, we set this to manual, we set the IP address, and we save that. So here we have it, 10.10.10.1, and the network mask is 10.10.10.255. So in other words, this IP address will be able to see the Mesa's IP address at 10.10.10.10, and you're ready to go. You should now be able to pin your card, and I don't have a Mesa network card on here, but you should be able to go 10.10.10.10. Of course, it won't work here. So there you go, guys. That's how you do it. And that's it. That's the big secret. By taking 5 minutes to manually set up the static IP address, you've built a rock-solid, private and reliable communication channel for the most critical part of the CNC. You just sidestepped the single issue that stumps and frustrates nearly everyone starting out. Now your computer and the Mesa card are on a first-name basis, and you can finally move on to the fun part, configuring your axes and making chips. If this video just saved you from launching a wrench across the workshop, do me a favour and hit the like and subscribe button, or buy me a coffee over at MrRodW. So now I want to hear from you. What was the Mesa mistake that almost broke you? Was it this, or was it something else entirely? Drop it in the comments below. Your story might be the one that helps someone else who's stuck right now. So my blessing to you is to go forth and configure that Mesa card with confidence. You'll be making chips in no time.